Alright, so welcome to my very first video that isn't a short. I apologize in advance for any background noise. The air conditioning is running, so it might be a little bit loud. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to open all of the Spider-Man stuff that we have. So that includes this, which is about half a booster box. We'll go ahead and do those first. Then we have at least a box and a half of collectors or so. So this should be pretty fun. These are all of the lands, as you can see. We went ahead and collected one of each. The only foil we're missing in the full art is the swamp up top, and the only one we have in foil down the bottom, I believe, is the island. So we do have some upgrades to do. They're not necessary, but it would be nice if we can do them. You'll see me just putting cards aside, picking cards up. I also need to remember where the camera is on this because it's not in the middle anymore, so bear with me. All right, let's go ahead and get right into it. Because again, we're going to open up the regular play boosters first, then we'll get to all the collector packs. Maybe we have a little something at the end as a bonus. Iron Spider Stark upgrade, and the Beast Within, and the full borderless art is a fantastic way to start there. That's an awesome looking little picture. Excuse me, an awesome looking art style there. And then we'll just, again, very quickly go through Flash Thompson Spider-Man. I think is probably one of my favorite white spells and creatures from this set. So if you don't know what I do, I take the rares, I put them aside, I take the rest of it, and I put it into a separate pile, so it's easier for me later when I go to separate everything. I do have some plastic toppers if I need them when we get to the collectors, if we get to something absolutely ridiculous on here. But let's keep going. We get a treasure, Savage Mountain, Grow Extra Arms in the foil, which is pretty cool looking there. Gwen Stacy, and the Ghost Spider here as our rare, nice mythic rare there. So I know a lot of people didn't like the set when it first came out. There's a lot of people that still don't like it. I don't know necessarily as I'm one way or the other about it. I mean, I like the IP, I like Spider-Man. A lot of people do. But they are also some great art and some very useful cards. Some of them have definitely come in handy. Like I said, that Flash Thompson is definitely one of them that I have found useful. Mountain here, but not in the foil, so we'll just leave it in the pack here. Angurabble, Silk Web Weaver, and Spinneret and Spiderling here as our rares. Always nice, again, when we get more than one of them in the packs. So if you're new here and you don't know what my channel is about, I have decided that I want to try to collect one of every land ever made in every set. Basic lands. One of every basic lands ever made in every set. No judges, promos, nothing like that, although I do have a special ones to show you. So we have a full art forest here, which we already have, of course. The Flying Octobot. We got something in the back of this that's borderless. It is a spectacular Spider-Man. Now, obviously, this is not one of the special ones, but still very cool to see. We'll put that aside right now, just so I don't forget to. Again, I apologize with the centering on the cards and all that. I am having my camera set up in a way I'm not used to. Also, my microphone on my computer is broken, so I apologize that this is the audio you're also going to have to listen to. On the upside, I don't have to try and rush through things. I don't have to try and talk real fast because I don't have a 3-minute limit. All right, so we do have a foil planes here, which is very cool. So we will go ahead and we'll upgrade our planes right now. We'll add that to that pile there. We'll put our foil one in. There we go. Now, the upgrades aren't necessary for what I'm looking to do. I just like the idea of having them. I still don't know what I'm going to do with them, though. Black Cat Cunning Thief as the rare. I don't know what I'm going to do with all of them once I get everything all set up. I'll probably mount some of them in like a picture frame, but I'm open to ideas. So if anybody has any ideas on what I should do with all of the lands as I collect them from set to set, I would be fairly open to hearing that. All right, so I have a Savage Mansion. See, these are really, it's hard to get the lands out of these because you have so many of these dual type lands that they take up the space where the land should be. I'm surprised we got it as quickly as we did, but we do have Lady Octopus, the Inspired Inventor, as our rare in this pack here. Now, I don't know every card in this set. It's not a really big set, so you will definitely see a lot of repeats as we go through the cards, especially with the commons and uncommons. And I will tell you right now, when I'm done with the play boosters, I am definitely going to take a quick break for myself so I can catch my breath. But that's why you'll see an edit after that, because it'll be basically 2 separate videos. Carnage, Crimson Chaos, Raging Goblinoids, Wall Crawl, Prison Break. I mean, there's definitely some cool names for some of these cards. Yeah, I'm just going to need a couple minutes after we get through all of these before we get into the collector boosters, because those are a little bit harder to open, and I'm not used to doing this many all at once. So bear with me. We do have a Swamp. It is not a foil, however. And Oscorp Industries as a rare. That's a nice little card. As you can see, it has the 3 of the different mana types on it, which makes it useful, especially if you're playing those colors, of course. Well, supposedly, after I record this in a couple of days, I should be getting a new replacement for my microphone for my computer, so I can maybe go do some like after recordings. We have Parker Luck in the foil and rare, and Symbiote Spider-Man also as a rare in here. Again, another 2 rare pack. The most I've ever seen, at least in this set, is 4, which I had happen to me during the pre-release, which is a fantastic little thing to happen, especially when it was during the pre-release and, you know, didn't really know what everything was, and everything was all nice and new and shiny, so it was a fun time to have that happen. Again, not getting the regular lands. Ultimate Green Goblin as a rare here, along with the Clone Saga. So, again, it's just a matter of sort of getting through it all, and I know nobody's really here for the play boosters. I understand that, but we have come across a couple of cool things so far, so I'm glad we're at least doing them. Plus, I had the half a box there, so I figured I might as well just open them. It looks like we're probably doing Edge of Eternities next, because I have a full play booster box as well as about a half of one. So that is the one we're probably going to do next, so that I can use them. Although I am planning on getting a booster box of the Tarkir Dragonstorm as well. So that should work. For after Edge of Eternities, we have Kraven's Last Night as our rare here, along with the With Great Power. So those are cool to see. Again, not a whole lot of value necessarily, but they are definitely cool to have, especially that comic book style ones of these. It's not the foil, so the person that wanted the Black Cat Cunning Thief one is only looking for the foil one, so he's not going to want that one, but I'll hang on to it. Just because they don't want it doesn't mean it's not wanted. All right. So we have, again, another full art forest. Kraven's Cats Hide on the Ceiling as our single rare in this pack. Hopefully you're able to see these. If I need to, I will have zoomed in on these, but hopefully you're able to read the cards as we go through them here. We have got 3 more play boosters left. And then again, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to take a break. Maybe grab a glass of water, and then continue on with the collector boosters. Miles Morales. Double-sided here with the Ultimate Spider-Man on the other side, and Agent Venom, and then Web Warriors, Tombstone. The Daily Bugle building, for me, is one I'm definitely hanging on to, just because, of course, the importance of it in the actual world of Spider-Man. But the Miles Morales is pretty cool to see. I also like the artwork on this. We get a little closer on that. You can see that. That's the Web Warriors. 2 more packs to go. So I know I had asked before which set you guys wanted to see next. Just by happenstance, I ended up with the Edge of Eternity, so it's the one I'm going to end up doing. Spider-Woman, Stunning Savior. This is my commander for the last deck that I just made, that I have yet to have a chance to try out. We've also got the Bioorganic Carapace. Again, a nice double rare in the pack. And let's see what we get in our final pack. I'd say maybe we could get some final pack magic, but I don't think we need it for the play boosters. I think we've done just fine. All right, final pack for the play box. We have a Full Art Mountain, the Foil Daily Bugle Building, the Origin of Spider-Man as the single rare, and then, of course, we'll go through the rest of these here. So bear with me as we get to the end of this pack. You'll see me put this aside. It's going to look like there's a little bit of a jump cut, and that's because I hit the pause button on the recording. And I will be back after I get a glass of water and I take a little bit of a break. I don't usually do this much talking, even in videos or in real life. Then I can move some of the cards out of the way and make this easier for me to deal with. So I will be back in just a second. All right, so sorry about that. For me, it's been quite a while. However, for you, it's been mere seconds. So that is the rest of this collector box, the one that we've been opening. Let's go ahead and put that aside with all the rest of the packs on the floor that I will clean up later. So we still have 6, so half a collector box of the one that we were opening, and then there is this one that's been in the background the entire time that is still sealed, that we're going to open an entire full one as well. So let's get to it. Why they made these so much more difficult to open, I will never understand. So I have to go get the scissors on the very first pack. This is always a fun part of the video, isn't it? Watching somebody struggle to open up a pack of cards. That should be the easiest thing in the world to open, because they want you to get at the stuff inside, because they want you to see what's in there, and they want you to get that nice dopamine hit so that you can continue to open them. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get scissors. This is the first one I've had this much trouble with in a while, so I don't feel too bad about it. All right, let's finally get at the inside here. We'll pull all these guys out. Get rid of that. Put the scissors in a place where they can't hurt me, hopefully. And let's get on with our opening here. So these are, of course, going to be all, foil and uncommons and things like that, until we get to the plains, which, again, the only one we're missing was, I believe, the swamp. Is that correct? I think the swamp is the only foil that we're missing. So we'll put that aside. Oh, look, a Bioorganic Carapace. I think we've seen one of those very recently. In fact, it was within the last couple of packs, if I remember correctly. Radioactive Spider in the full art. Doc Ox Tentacles with the extended art. Unexpected Windfall, the full art there. That is a cool looking card. I don't think I've seen that one before. And Kraven's Last Hunt in the foil. So we'll put that aside. I can't remember if I've already pulled that for that friend of mine here that's local. I'm going to try to open these without cutting them open. There we go. That one actually made it into the bag. So you have an art card in the back here. One of the cooler looking ones, if you ask me. I mean, you didn't, but I'm going to tell you anyway. If nothing else, there is definitely some cool art here. They definitely stayed true to the source material. All right, let's take a quick look, because this is a foil swamp on the full art. We do not have the foil full art swamp, so we were going to swap that out right now. We weren't able to do foils for all the base arts, but we did get them for the full art. So Mysterio, Master of Illusion. The Urban Retreat, again, in the extended art. Cosmic Spider-Man with the extended art. Comeuppance. Again, another one I haven't seen yet, but I've been looking forward to. This is, again, just a cool looking art. It is in the foil too, which is pretty cool. Obviously in the full art. And Friendly Neighborhood with the extended art foil. So if you're wondering what I'm doing off to the side, I just put them in separate piles. The rares in one pile and the commons and uncommons in another pile. I felt like that one was going to give. How about the other side? There we go. More often than not, you can crack it and get it to give. It just takes a little bit of effort. Sometimes it's not worth the effort, and sometimes it's just not going to give. It is just the nature of the beast. There we go. We got our foil island here. Electro Assaulting Battery. Shadow of the Goblin with the extended art style. Sensational Spider-Man. And in the full art here. The Winds of Change. Again, the borderless, not foil, but still borderless, which looks really cool. And the Web of Life and Destiny is our final card here before we get to the token. I have everything upside down here. The Gallant Citizen also came in pretty handy, I will say, during the pre-release. We have another foil swamp, not that we need it anymore, but always good to know we had to back up if we did. And we get a cheering crowd to begin with. They're probably cheering for this opening, if I had to guess. Morlun, Devourer of Spiders. Good to have a Devourer of Spiders when you are playing with a bunch of spiders. Doc Ock, Evil Inventor in the full borderless art there. Ponder in the foil art with the full art is what I was trying to say. I was distracted by the actual card itself because it's very pretty. And Hide on the Ceiling in the extended art foil as well. We'll finish out this pack. I am going to have to pause after these next two packs one more time because there's something I need to go take care of. My food will be done cooking shortly. So I'm going to have to go grab that out of the oven. But again, for you, you'll never know. It'll just seem like a weird little glitch in the video. Okay, we're down to our mountain here. So, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Strength of Will with the extended art. Full art Spider-Punk. Not in foil. I know somebody who's looking for the foil version, but that is not it. Iron Spider Silver Warrior. Again, probably one of the cooler arts in the whole set. And we finish up with Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock here in the full art with the foil. And the awesome looking Venom on the back side here. That is going into a piece of plastic in a moment. We'll put that aside in a special little spot here. And this is the final collector pack of that box. So again, when I'm going through these, obviously I'm not looking for any more of the lands. I'm looking for things that have value that I can then sell or trade in order to get more product so that I can pull lands in other sets. So, let's go ahead and finish this box off with the Foil Forest, starting with a Parker Luck. We move on to With Great Power in the extended art. I think I have at least a half a dozen of those. Strength of Will, again, in the extended art style. Rest in Peace. That was a terrible Undertaker, but still, no less of a cool card. And then Symbiote Spider-Man finishes us off here with the foil treatment. Oh, and we had an art card that I didn't see. And we're going to pause it right there. All right, so thank you again for dealing with having that weird little pause there. Before we open this, I just want to show here the Eddie Brock in its top loader inside of a sleeve. I apologize for my lack of reaction. It was cool to open, but I did not realize until I took a quick break and decided, hey, let's go take a look and see how much this might be. then it's about $170 at the time of opening this, so I apologize for my lack of enthusiasm for having pulled that out of a pack, but I was unaware of the pricing on it, and honestly, I'm pretty happy. That alone should get me a play box of most sets, at least in recent history. So this is a completely fresh, full 12 packs of collector boosters. 6 and 6. Go ahead and put them over here, and hope we don't need the scissors too much for this. Hope you're having fun so far. Again, this is definitely the longest video I've ever made. It's probably going to end up being longer than all of the videos I've made to this point combined, at the rate we're going here. But I'm having a good time, and we're going to keep on going with it. So again, it looks like we're doing Edge of Eternities next, just because it's what I have the most of at the moment. I am working on something special. Hopefully I can pull it off. The Eddie Brock is certainly going to go a long way towards helping pull that off. So let's go ahead and get into this. We have our Forest, followed by Sandman, Shifting Scoundrel. Honestly, I'm surprised we haven't seen this one yet. Sorry, I wasn't quite in frame for that. I have a bunch of these because it's very common to pull that. The Bioorganic Carapace, again. Another Sensational Spider-Man. Same one we just pulled, but again, I'm not going to complain about that. That's pretty awesome. Parallel Lives. That is a fantastic looking full art there. Black Cat, Cunning Thief in the borderless as well. It is foil, but I already have one of those set aside for the person here in town who was looking for it. So I will put that in my pile, and we will continue on to the next pack. Again, this is a fresh full box of the Spider-Man collector packs, which I got from my local store. There we go. We'll get down to the mountain and start off with Amazing Alliance. Kraven the Hunter in the borderless art here. Interdimensional Web Watch. Yeah, I'm sorry we haven't seen some of these from the last 6 packs, so they're coming around. Another Rest in Peace. Again, no complaint about that. And a foil hide on the ceiling in the extended art, along with a an art card here. That's going to be what Lizard Connor's Curse, of course it is. We'll put that aside there. Lizard Connor's Curse was a 2 or 3 time pull, again, during the pre-release when I played. And I have a small pile of them sitting on my desk, because they are, of the rares, one of them was most common. All right, we're back down to our planes here. Hiding behind the planes, we have Spider Sense. Haven't seen a lot of this. I was very surprised that there has been so few that have been able to pull Friendly Neighborhood. Whoa. The Clone Saga again. Unexpected Windfall, again, this time in the foil treatment. And behind that, another borderless foil Symbiote Spider-Man. And we have our first gold stamped art card here. You can see it has the gold stamping down that bottom left. And this is Grendel, Spawn of the Null. Because these are now only in collector packs, they do have some inherent value to the people who collect those. I did eventually get all of the cards to finish the Final Fantasy art set, and I mailed them down to a friend of mine who I sent most of my cards to when I was opening those. And now he has the full set. I also have a light that keeps going on and off behind me, so if you see the light sort of blinking in and out a little bit, I apologize for that. It is just faulty hardware. Look, we get the Spider Doctor palleted by Peni and palleted by Penny. You pronounce it however you want. I'll do what I think is funniest. Island here with the foil here. So we have Dr. Octopus, Master Planner. Lady Octopus, Inspired Inventor. A lot of octopi in here. Peter Parker in the full art. And on the other side, we have the Amazing Spider-Man. Not foil, but still a very cool card. Goblin Bombardment, again, in the full art here. And then a cheering crowd, probably cheering, again, for that pack opening. That was a pretty good one, if I do say so myself. Now, we may or may not have a surprise at the end of this pack opening, so bear with me. It will be worth going all the way to the end for, I promise. Alright, so we get our swap here. Let's go ahead and move on. Iron Spider, Stark Upgrade. The rent is due, and it's extended art, so it's probably going to cost more in rent this month than last month. The extended art Spider-Verse. Whoops. Almost skipped right over the Counterspell, which I had in my deck, and then I pulled out, and then I put back in, and then I pulled out. I can't make up my mind about it. And, of course, the aforementioned Lizard Connor's Curse in the foil extended art. Probably shouldn't have opened my mouth and manifested that into reality, but it is what it is. Sometimes that's how you end up with things in your pile. Another art card in the back here. This is the Spider-Man India art card. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. There we go, Spider-Man India. Let's work our way all the way down to our forest. Hydro-Man, Fluid Felon. Iron Spider Stark Upgrade in the extended art again. The Death of Gwen Stacy with the Borderless comic aisle here. Borderless comic style is what I meant to say. Doc Ock and the Armed and Dangerous. One of the weirdest looking cards, just because it's such a close-up. But the Borderless full art, which is always cool looking. And J. Jonah Jameson in our extended art with the foil treatment there. So we are now halfway through the box. That was 6 packs down, 6 packs to go. This is going to end up being a very long video, so if you have made it this far, I very much appreciate it. Hopefully we'll post something out of here that will absolutely break all kinds of records. We have our foil mountain. Morlon, Devourer of Spiders. Symbiote Spider-Man in the Borderless art here. Come on. Superior Spider-Man with the extended art. Terminate in the full art Borderless style here. That is a cool looking card. And a foil extended art Cosmic Spider-Man to go with our non-foil one from earlier, which in and of itself definitely has some value as far as the actual card goes. Alright, let's go ahead and keep going through. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed for a Soul Stone here. I'm not silly enough to think I'm going to get the Cosmic Foil, but I would like to see the Infinity Gauntlet version. That would be cool. I don't know where in the pack it's supposed to be either. First card, middle card, last card. So if we see it, great. If we don't, then also, you know, that's the way stuff happens. Doc Ock's Tentacles. Another full art Symbiote Spider-Man. Doc Ock, Evil Inventor, also in the Borderless full art. A Terminate, this time not in the foil. And the Clone Saga with a foil here. I don't remember if this is one of the ones that we're looking for here, so we'll put that aside. And continue on to the next pack. That one opened really easy, suspiciously easy. Maybe that's because they had to reseal it after putting a really good card into it, because they knew that we were going to get it. Alright, so let's continue on here. We have our foil forest, followed by Shadow of the Goblin. Been a while since I've seen one of those. Parker Luck with the extended art. Electro Assaulting Battery with the extended art. 9 Lives. That is a good looking 9 Lives with a Borderless. And a foil Miles Morales to go with our foil Eddie Brock, which has the Ultimate Spider-Man on the back side there. I think I have the other version of this sitting on my desk, so that, of course, will be put aside to be put into a top loader with, like the Eddie Brock did. I want to say that's something in the high 60, 70 ranges, maybe a little higher than that. It's been a while since I looked at that particular one. but a decent amount of value, at least out of that individual card. Oh, get it upside down here. Taxi Driver. Anybody here old enough to remember the show Taxi, or the movie Taxi Driver, for that matter? Probably not. Check out Taxi Driver. Pretty good movie. If you can deal with it not being, you know, an 8K HD. All right, we got our mountain here. What's behind it? Spider-Man 2099. The extended art with great power. Maximum Carnage. I don't think we've seen one of these yet. Which, again, very surprising, as common as they seem to be. The thrill of possibility with the borderless art. And a Villainous Wrath in the foil extended art. Cool looking card. We have 2 more packs here in this box to go. Looks like we might be getting our surprise after all. Pumpkin Bombardment is how we start this pack off. Let's go ahead and work our way down until we get to the island. And Gwen Stacy with the foil. You got Ghost Spider on the backside there. Kraven the Hunter with the extended art. Kraven's Last Night, followed by it. Silk Guard in the foil borderless. That is a cool looking card there. And an Urban Retreat. Again, the triple mana Urban Retreat there. Very useful to have 3 mana on a single card. All right, final pack of the box. Fingers crossed for a little bit of final pack magic here. We have our planes. Following the planes is Kraven the Hunter. I feel like we just saw this card. Strength of Will in the extended art style. Dr. Octopus Master Planner in the borderless art. Master Weaver Web Protector in the borderless art style as well. Followed by the foil Radioactive Spider, which looks cool. Doesn't have a whole lot of value, but it is a cool looking card. So, I said we'd probably have a surprise at the end of the video. And of course, I am a man of my word. So why open 1 box when you can open 2? I have a second box of collector boosters. But you're going to have to wait until the next video to do that. We're going to open this one in a separate video because this is already too long. So I appreciate you subscribing, watching the video, hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next one.